Hello, folks. This is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on August 17th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1 and 2, the game card color code and the 50-50 picks. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 10, 13, 30, 51, and 69. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 10 was purple, the 13 was green, the 30 was purple, the 51 was purple, and the 69 was orange. Okay, so I'm going to color these in. So again, the 10, 30, and 51 were purple. The 13 was green, and the 69 was orange. So now I'm going to count how many colors I have. I have 3 purple, 1 orange, 1 green for 3 colors total. Okay, so up here I'm going to make this 358 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And now a 3-color combination has now come up in 191 drawings. Okay, so if you divide 191 into 358, you're going to see that a 3-color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3-color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, the green, the blue, and whatever's left is purple. Okay, so basically what I did is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, and that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the red numbers, and the red numbers are the last 3 drawings of numbers, and the reason why that is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the 10, the 13, the 30, 51, and 69. The next line down is the 35, 41, 44, 58, and 59. And the last line is 8, 32, 47, 53, and 59, which you can see is already taken. So I'm going to make these red numbers. And now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 3 here, 1 is 4, 4 is 8, 1 is 9, 2 is 11, and 3 is 14. So I'm going to leave this alone right here at 14. So up here it tells me how many colors I have on the game card. Okay, so moving on to the orange area, I'm going to start with the 3, the 6, the 45, 66, and 68. The next line down is the 14, 37, 47 is already taken, 55, and 67. The next line is the 1, 19, 31, 48, and 61. And the last line is the 22, 29, 35 is already taken, 53 is already taken, and the 56. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 4, and 1 is 5. 3 is 8, 3 is 11, 1 is 12, 3 is 15, and 2 is 17. So I'm going to leave this alone right here at 17. Okay, so I think you understand how I came up with the colors for this game card. Okay, so just to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is the game card for August 17th, 2019. You can see that I had 14 red numbers, 17 orange. Turned out that I had 14 green numbers, 16 blue, and 8 purple numbers. Okay? So again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up. Okay? So that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up. And that's what I want to focus on here. Okay? So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers, all right? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what color group will not be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So to help me make a decision on what color won't be coming up, in fact, I want to point out that here's all 5 colors. All 5 colors do come up. It's come up 13 times out of 358 drawings, okay? So it comes up, but it's very rare, okay? So again, the strategy is try to correctly guess what color won't be coming up. So I'm going to turn to the 50-50 picks to help me make a decision, okay? So this is what I call the 50-50 picks. So again, there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. So I like to keep track of that and try to correctly guess what the majority will be for the upcoming drawing. Okay, so I'm going to update this right here. So I'm going to go back to the game card. And the numbers were 10, which is evens, odds, odds. So 3 odd numbers and 2 even numbers. Okay, so I'm going to make this 3 odds and 2 evens. Okay, so you can see that I highlight the majority here. Okay. So now I'm going to make this 403 drawings that I kept track of. And basically this goes back to October 7th, 2015. That's when the Powerball lottery went from 59 numbers to 69 numbers. Okay. So I'm going to make this 212. Okay. So out of 403 drawings, 212 drawings have been the majority of odd numbers. 191 drawings have been the majority of even numbers. Okay. So here I like to break things down into 5, so it shows me that majority again. So in this 5 drawings here, the majority was odd numbers, 3 drawings to 2. And as I go back into the history, you can see what's been going on here. So you can see that most of the time it's 3 to 2. Okay, and I'm going to guess that this is going to be 3 to 2 as well. Okay, so I'm going to predict that there's going to be more even numbers than odd numbers. Okay, so I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put down, I think there's going to be more even numbers than odds. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This is high and low. Okay, all the numbers in blue are considered low. All the ones in red are considered high. Okay, so as I go through this, I'm going to try to predict what's going to happen here as well, okay? So you can see that this was the majority of high, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to predict that there's going to be more low numbers than high numbers, okay? So I'm going to write that down. And the thing about this is that we're all going to look at this differently, so we're all going to come up with a different result, okay? But again, I think more low numbers are going to come up, so I'm going to be looking up here to eliminate numbers, okay? So going back, I got 2 more here. This is left and right, okay? So you can see what's been going on here. I think that more numbers are going to be here to the left side. So I'm going to be looking over here to eliminate numbers on the right side, okay? So I'm going to write that down as well. More numbers to the left side than the right side. Okay, and one last one that I have is this red and blue area. Okay, so again, lots of times it comes up 3 to 2, 3 to 2, okay? So here we already have 3, so I'm expecting 2 red ones to come up in the next 2 drawings, okay? So that means I think the majority of the numbers will be here in this red area than the blue. So I'm going to write that down as well, more to the red side. Okay, so this is the red, so I'm going to be looking to eliminate numbers in this area right here. Okay, so looking at this, again, I think there's going to be more even numbers than odd, more to the low side than high, more to the left than right, and more to this red area. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, I'm going to go with no orange numbers. Okay. So you can see that the majority of the orange numbers are over here to the right side, okay? And the ones that are over here to the left, this is odd, 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 okay? And I only have this one even here, so I'm going to get rid of the orange numbers, all right? So I'm going to block these numbers out, and hopefully none of these orange numbers come up in the drawing. Okay, so just give me a second. There's 17 of them here. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think will be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm buying a Powerball ticket worth $3, okay? So in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these orange numbers will come up in the next drawing, okay? So if I'm correct with my bet and none of these orange numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 3, the individual numbers. Okay, so looking at the individual numbers here, I mean to say what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers, okay? So basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups, okay? So here's group number 1 that holds the numbers of 1 through 9. This is the only one with 9 numbers where the other 6 groups have 10 for 69 numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this here, okay? So you can see that the 10 came up and it's purple, so I'm going to find the 10 and I'm going to make this square purple right here. Okay, so I'm making it purple because the 10 is purple, okay? And the 10 is purple because the color code said it was purple, okay? So the next one is the 13. You can see that's green, so I'm going to make this green right here, okay? So as I go down through, you know that when I look at this orange, I know where it came up, okay? So another thing I'm going to do is find out how many groups it hit out of this 7, okay? So the 10 and 13 is in one group, the 30's in another, the 51's in another, and the 69 is in another. So it hit 4 groups total, okay? So as I go back into the history, I try to correctly guess how many groups are going to be hit. So this is really hard to predict, okay? I'm thinking that it's probably going to be probably 4 again because the 4 comes up the most, okay? So I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so again, you can see that there's 7 groups here, okay? And there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so how you read this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings, okay? And I like to break it down into 5 for a couple reasons. One is when I go back into the history, it's easier to count, going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on, okay? But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within these 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, okay? So again, the strategy is try to correctly guess where the winning Powerball numbers won't be, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction, and I'm going to say that no 40 numbers are going to come up, okay? And now the reason why is because a 40 number has come up in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drawings, okay? It missed this one here. Now since it went 5 in a row, I think it's going to miss a couple in a row, okay? So I'm predicting that there's going to be no 40 numbers here as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card and I'm going to eliminate the 40 numbers off of my game card. Okay, so here's my game card, and here's the 40, the 41 to the 44, 46 and 47, and here's the 49. So I'm going to get rid of those, and hopefully none of those 40 numbers come up. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy, and that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and I divided it into 4 different color groups. Okay, so when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers land within these color groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the game card, and again, the numbers that just came up were the 10, 13, 30, 51, and 69. Okay, so as I go back to the group 1 here, I'm going to enter these in. Okay, so the 10 was here in the red area right here. So I'm going to put that down right here. Okay, and then the 13 and 30 were over here in the blue. So I'm going to write that down to blue. Okay, then the 51 was here in the orange. And the 69 was here in the green. So I'm going to write a row right here, okay? Now a row means that all the numbers hit all 4 colors here. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess where these zeros are going to pop up, okay? So the drawing before, if I could have correctly guessed that none of these green numbers were going to come up, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball lottery, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction here, okay? I'm going to predict that no blue numbers are going to come up in this option card number 1, okay? So the reason why, and again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? But the reason why I'm picking this is because you can see that this 1 comes up a lot, okay? So here's another one over here, one here, okay? So if a 0 comes up here, then this will have to be a 1, okay? So as I scroll down through, you can see that a 1 hasn't come up in a long time in this blue area. Okay, it's come up here, right here, okay? And you can see that compared to the other rows, a 1 has come up a lot, okay? So I'm predicting that this is overdue for this 1, so I'm going to eliminate these blue numbers off of the game card, okay? So as I go back to the game card here, you can see that it goes 5, 6, 7, 66, okay? So the 8 shares the square with the 66 here, and I'll explain this right now here. Okay, so what I wanted was this grid of 8 squares across and 8 squares down, okay? But that's only good for 64 numbers, and there's 69 numbers in the Powerball lottery, okay? So I had to group a couple of these squares up. So the 8 shares the square with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 25 and the 65, the 53 and the 69, and the 58 with the 68, okay? So as I go back to the game card here, you can see that these numbers are off here to the left side, okay? Now, I needed some separation because of the color code, okay? You can see that the 25 shares the square with the 65 is green, and the 25 is purple, okay? So that's why I needed some separation here, okay? But if I get rid of all these numbers in this blue area, I'm going to get rid of the 8 and the 66 along with all those other numbers as a group, okay? So moving on, the next one that I'm going to pick is, I want to let you know that I have 15 of these option cards, okay? And they all have the same colors as red, blue, orange, and green. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other from each different option card, okay? So the next one I'm going to pick is this number 2, green, okay? Now the reason why I'm picking this is because you can see that this 0 doubled up, okay? But lots of times it triples up like this, okay? Now you can see as I go down through, there's plenty of other rows where it's tripled up, but here in this green area, it hasn't tripled up until way down here. Right here. Okay, so this is the only triple on the on this row, on this column so far for the green areas. Okay, and you can see that the other columns have plenty of 3 or 4 zeros in all of them. Okay, so again, I think that this is going to triple up. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. So I don't believe that any of these green numbers are going to come up. So I want to get rid of them off of my game card. So that includes these 3 numbers right here. And hopefully those numbers won't come up. Okay, so moving on. The next one that I'm going to pick is option card number 13, no orange. Okay, so here's option card 13. And the reason why I'm picking this one is because this pattern of 1 that will follow a 1 comes up a lot. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so here it is right here. Okay, here it is over here. Okay, this one in the orange area has never had a 1 that followed a 1 like the other columns here. Okay, so I'm going to go and predict that this is going to happen here. Okay, I think the 0 is going to be right here, so I'm going to get rid of these orange numbers, which is the 5, 7, 14, 16, all the way down. So I'm going to start here, okay? So here's the 5. Now this 69 shares the square with the 53, so I'm going to get rid of both of them. And this would be the 14, so I'm going to get rid of that 62. So you can see the 69 and 62 are in orange here. Okay, so that's all I'm going to pick from this group number 1. So I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers. Okay, so much like group 1 where I divided all the numbers into 4 different color groups, here I divided all the numbers into 8 different color groups. Okay, so it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers. All right, except with this one, I know that there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, so 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess what color group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so I'm going to update this as well. So again, it was the 10, which is blue, 13, which is purple, 30, which is brown, the 51, which is orange, and the 69, which is purple. Okay, so I got 1 blue, 1 orange, I got 2 purple, and 1 brown. So as I come down here, again, I had no winning Powerball numbers in the red area. I had that 1 in the blue, that 10. I had 1 in the orange area, that 51. I had no winning Powerball numbers in the green area. 2 in the purple, that 13 and 69. The 1 in the blue, that 30. And there was no winning Powerball numbers in the gray area. And there's no winning Powerball numbers in the yellow area. Okay? So now I'm going to count how many color groups it hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So over here, I'm going to make this 4. And I'm going to change this to green. I'm going to change that color to green. Okay, and the reason why is because the majority of the numbers were over here to the right side. You got the 2 and the 1 here, okay? So this tells me, you know, if I were to go back into history and I'm looking at this 4 and I see that it's red, I know that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, okay? So the reason why I do that is because if I see a lot of green like this, I know eventually it's going to turn to red. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen, okay? So I think that there's going to be more red numbers over here to the left side. I'm going to be looking for the zeros over here to the right side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction on where I think that 0 is going to be. And I'm going to go with this purple area right here. I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so you can see that there's red and there's blue. Okay, so let me explain what that's all about. Okay, I'm going to start up here. Again, I like to break things down into 5 drawings, okay, because it shows me that majority. So here you can see that there was 3 misses or 3 zeros, so I colored the background blue for cold. The next one down, there was 3 hits, so I colored the background red for hot, okay? So we all know the lottery is random, okay? And to me, this is what random looks like, okay? So when I see something like this, where it's been really, really hot, well, I know it's going to turn cold eventually. I just have to correctly guess when it's going to happen, okay? So I'm going to do that here. This has been really hot over here in the purple area, so I'm going to guess that the 0 is going to be right here in this purple area. So I'm going to eliminate the purple numbers off of my game card, and that's the 5 that runs down to the 61. And you can see that there's nothing here, okay? So here's the thing with this. Now I have 8 selections here, okay? Now I made my selection for purple. There was nothing to eliminate, but here's the thing. For all 15 option cards that I have here, the average is between 3.8 and 4.2, okay? So what I mean by that is that on average for all 15 option cards, 4 of these color groups are going to have a hit to it, and 4 of these color groups are going to have a miss to it, okay? So right now it's like a 50-50 guess, okay? So I went with purple. There's nothing to eliminate. So if I come back to this option card number 1 and pick at this red area, let's say, my odds of getting it correct go way, way up, okay? So I designed this to move on to the next option card where I have that 50-50 guess again, okay? So here I'm going to go with the brown area. I think the brown is going to have the 0 right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this brown area, the 41 to the 48. Now, I already got rid of all the 40, so there's nothing to eliminate there, okay? So going back, the next one I'm going to pick is option card number 3, no brown again. So here's the brown. And as I scroll down through, you can see that things got really, really hot through here. And now I think the 0 is going to be right here, okay? So I'm hoping no brown numbers come up, and that's the 5 to the 29 and the 34 to the 68. So since the 58 shares the square with the 68, I'm going to get rid of that 58 as well. Hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on to option card number 4. I'm going to go with no red. So here's the red. So as I scroll down, you can see that things got pretty hot down through here. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these red numbers, the 5 to the 66 and the 33 to the 36. So hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on to option card number 5. I went with orange. So here's the orange, and as I scroll down through, you see that things got kind of hot through here, so I'm thinking that 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these orange numbers, and that's this circle right here. So I'll get rid of the 52, 59, and that's it. Okay, so moving on to the next one, option card 6. I'm going to get rid of gray. Okay, so here's the gray. Now as I scroll down through, you can see that it got pretty hot here, so I'm hoping that the 0 will be right here. And that's the 1, 10, 17, 26 all the way down. Okay, so I'll get rid of those. Hopefully those numbers don't come up. Next one is option card 7. I'm going to go with no orange again. So here's the orange. You can see how hot things have been. And now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So the orange runs from the 41, 34, 43, 36 all the way across. So I'm going to get rid of that 38. Okay, so next one is option card 8. And I'm going to get rid of the green. So here's the green. You can see that things have been pretty hot here. So I'm hoping the 0 will be right here. And that's the 8, 13, 24, 29 all the way down. You can see that there's nothing to get rid of. So moving on to number 9. Again, I have 15 of these option cards, so we're almost done. So I'm going to go with yellow. You can see how hot this has been. Okay, so I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these yellow numbers. That's the 12, 17, and the 44, 49. So I'll get rid of the 12. Okay, so moving on to 10. I'm going with yellow again, so here's the yellow. And as I scroll down through, you can see how hot things have been. So I'm going to say that this is going to go on a cold streak. And I'm going to get rid of the 24, 29, that 20, 65, that pattern all the way around. So here the 25 shares the square with that 65. And I'll get rid of the 57 as well. So hopefully none of those numbers come up. Okay, so moving on to 11. I'm going to go with yellow again. Okay, so here's the yellow. You can see that things are pretty hot. Okay, so I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. I'm going to get rid of the 4, 21, 39, and 50. Okay, so that's the only thing that I could get rid of is that 4. Okay, so moving on to 12. I'm going to go with purple. So here's the purple. And as I scroll on down, you can see that things got pretty hot right down through here. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers. That's the 6 to the 30 and the 34 to the 68. And you can see there's nothing to get rid of. So moving on to 13. I'm going to get rid of orange. Okay. So scrolling down again. You see things got kind of hot through here. So I'm going to go with the 0 right here. And that's the 13 to the 16 and the 41 to the 44. Again, nothing to get rid of. So moving on to 14, I'm going to go with gray. Okay, so here's the gray. And you can see that things have been really hot. So I'm going to hope that the 0 is right here. And I'm going to get rid of these gray numbers. And that's the 8 to the 12, 24, 28. And then the 37, 41, 69, 57. So I'll get rid of that 28. Okay, so last one is I'm going to go with green. So here's the green. You can see how hot things have been. I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, the 12, 20, 26, 27. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to predict that no red numbers are going to come up, and no 60 numbers are going to come up as well. So I'm going to get rid of these two numbers. Okay, so again, I thought there was going to be more even numbers than odd, so I got the 2, 18, and 54. That will make that happen. More to the low. The 2, 9, 11, 18 will make that happen. More to the left. Okay, and more to that red area right here. I think all 5 numbers will be in that red. Okay, so again, I'm going to go with the 2, 9, 11, 18, and 54. Okay, so just going to highlight these. And again, I'm going to go with the 2, 9, 11, 18, and 54. Okay, so, I think Sherlock Holmes said it the best. Okay, he said it's a matter of deduction. Okay, so if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so, what are the odds that I made all the correct picks, though? Okay, so the official odds of getting all 5 white balls in the red ball correct are 1 in 292 million. The 5 white balls, that's my goal, and what I mean by that is that this game is geared up for the white balls only. Okay, getting all 5 white balls correct, the odds are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so it's pretty steep. Okay, a nice prize to win would be 4 white balls in a red ball. That pays 50,000. The odds of that are just about 1 in a million. Okay, a nice prize is 4 white balls. That pays $100 plus the power play. 3 white balls pay $7 plus the power play. And if you get the red ball correct, that's $4 plus the power play. Okay, so you can see that the odds are pretty steep. Okay, so I just want to let you know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week, you would spend $312 per year on a lottery. Okay, so I do have one thing for the Powerball number here. Okay, in this column here, there's 26 red ball numbers. Okay, so I just divided those numbers in 2. So if you see a blue number, that means it's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, that's high, 14 to 26. Okay. Now over in this column, if you see a red number, that's odds. If you see a blue number, that's evens. Okay, so why I do this is now I just look at the colors. Okay, so when I see something like this, it's been really a lot of blue, a lot of low numbers. I think this next one is going to be high, okay? And I think that over here is going to be blue, okay? So I'm going to be looking for a high even number, okay? So I'm just going to concentrate on the 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, and 26 instead of all 26 numbers, okay? So this green thing right here tells me that the Powerball repeated itself. You can see the 3 came up and then it repeated on the next drawing, okay? So in closing, I want to thank you for watching. Okay, if you would like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Okay, and as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.